Okay guys, I'm gonna make another instructional video, this time with objetos directos y indirectos. Several of you have contacted me saying that this is troublesome. Remember that you will not be tested on it until the midterm, which is next week, but it is a pretty complicated grammar topic, so it's good to try to understand it now. The pronouns for direct and indirect objects in Spanish, as you can see, are the same for the first person, the second person, and the nosotros form. You have me, te, nos. For the third person singular and plural, however, there are differences. So él, ella, usted, if it's an indirect object pronoun, you're going to use le, direct object pronoun, lo for masculine, la for feminine. And then for the plural, les, los, or las. So when do we use pronouns? Well, we use them to avoid repetition, just like we do in English. If we're having a conversation and I say, oh, I gave the application to the company's boss. Who did you give the application to? The company's boss. What does the company's boss look like? The company's boss looks like, we use he, it, we use these pronouns to avoid repetition. We do the same thing in Spanish. So here we have some examples. The first sentence with all the information, no pronouns. Di la solicitud al jefe de la compañía. I gave what? The application to who? To the company's boss. Well, I might want to shorten that. I gave it to the company's boss. I gave him the application. I gave it to him. Here, I gave it to him, but with an emphasis on him, which we'll see. So we have in Spanish, la di al jefe, le di la solicitud, se la di a él. Es mucha información. So let's go over it all and then revisit this slide and see if it makes more sense at the end. With objetos directos, first, the most important thing is you need to know what a direct object is. How do you identify the direct object of the sentence? Well, you go to the verb. In this case, in this example, mi madre invitó, she invited, here's our verb, and you ask these questions. She invited what? She invited who? Can we answer that question? Ella invitó a mi novia a la fiesta. Can we answer that question? Yeah. Mi novia es el objeto directo, my girlfriend. Second part of the sentence, to avoid repetition, we're going to say she wants to meet her. We're not going to repeat mi novia. So she wants to meet her. Well, mi novia, let's revisit our chart. Which direct object pronoun do we use for novia? It is third person singular, feminine, la. So she wants to meet who? Her. La quiere conocer. And the placement of these pronouns go before the verb. Mi madre trabajó con Juan, pero no blank conoce bien. My mother worked with Juan, but she doesn't know who well. Well, who are we talking about? Juan is our direct object. She doesn't know him well. Which pronoun are we going to use? We're going to use the masculine singular direct object pronoun, which is lo. Third example, a mi madre le gusta mucho trabajar con niños. She wants to help what? She wants to help who? Well, who does she want to help? Los niños. It's plural. We're going to use los. She wants to help who? Them. Los quiere ayudar. Y el número 4, mi madre terminó su novela hace 2 años. Now she wants to publish what? She wants to publish it. Well, what is the it? La novela. La novela es femenina singular, so we're going to use the object pronoun, direct object, la. Ahora la quiere publicar. For indirect objects, we take the same steps, but we ask different questions. We identify the verb and we ask to who or for who. So notice the difference between these two questions. Here we have the verb, and directly we ask the question who. Wants to meet who. Doesn't know who well. Here we have to who or for who. So in this example, mi novio siempre da muchos regalos. Well, to who? My boyfriend always gives many gifts to who? If he's my boyfriend, I hope I'm getting the gifts. So I'm going to use me. He gives many gifts to who? To me. Me. Tu novio siempre da muchos regalos. Let's hope it's to you. Te. He gives many gifts to who? To you. Te is our indirect object pronoun. Here, ayer mi padre pagó mucho dinero al doctor. He paid a lot of money to who? To the doctor. Now we have the third person. It's not lo or la, but le for the indirect object. Número 4, Luciana compró un libro a su hermana. She bought a book for her sister. For who? Her sister, le. And the last example, compré flores a todas mis amigas. I bought flowers for who? All my friends. Todas mis amigas, plural, les. So as you'll notice in these examples, if we translate them directly into English, it seems like this is redundant, right? I bought flowers for all my friends. Done. Except there is a rule in Spanish, it's different than English, where that redundancy is necessary. So here we'll see we have 4 examples. The last one is incorrect in Spanish, even though we can translate it directly and it sounds like Luciana bought a book for her sister. Sounds fine in English. In Espanol, no. Why? Because with indirect object pronouns, the pronoun always has to be in the sentence. If there is an indirect object in the sentence, the pronoun has to be there. Now, with third person, a lot of the time we're going to use repetition to clarify who is le. Bought a gift for him, for her, for usted. It's not clear, so we might need to add some information at the end. Luciana le compró un libro a su hermana, for her sister. Luciana le compró un libro a ella, for her. Now, if by the context of the conversation we already know we're talking about her sister, then we don't need to include that information and we can just say Luciana bought her the book. Double object pronouns is when we're going to use both direct and indirect in the same sentence. Our rules are that the indirect object goes first and they both precede the conjugated verb. So our word order will always be indirecto, directo, verbo. In this example, we see Victor me compró las flores. Victor bought the flowers for who? For me. If we want to change that to Victor bought them for me, meaning the flowers, then we need to use our word order indirecto, directo, verbo. He bought what? Direct object, las flores. For who? For me, indirect object. En el segundo ejemplo, ella me dio la solicitud. She gave what? La solicitud. To who? To me. Indirecto, directo, verbo. Try this on your own with these 4. In the third person, when you have double object pronouns, there's another rule. This is when we change le or les to say when it is placed before lo, los, la, or las. Basically, any combination of la sounds needs to be changed. We need to use se in place of these indirect object pronouns. Here we have an example, le dio el puesto a Verónica. This is fine, we only have the indirect object pronoun, but once we want to use the direct with it, right, he gave it to her, we can't say le lo, so we change the le to se. He gave what? El puesto to who? To Verónica, le, but we can't say le lo, so we change le to se. Les va a mostrar el anuncio. He or she is going to show what? El anuncio to who? To them. Well, we can't say les lo, so les changes to se. You can remember this because the word lelo means tonto, estúpido in Espanol. So you want to avoid saying that word. Try these 3 on your own. So let's go back to our original slide and see if these examples make a little bit more sense. Again, we're starting with the example, di la solicitud al jefe de la compañía. I gave the application to the company's boss. Well, how do we say I gave it to the company's boss? What is the it? I gave what? El objeto directo, in this case, I gave the application, la solicitud. If I replace that with a pronoun, I'm going to put it before the verb, la di, al jefe de la compañía. Now I want to replace el jefe de la compañía with a pronoun. I want to say I gave the application to him. Well, I gave what? The application to who? We have our indirect object pronoun. This case, le goes before the verb. Le di la solicitud. Now I want to use both. I want to say I gave it to him. Well, we have the verb. Remember our word order. Indirecto, directo, verbo. We're going to use se la. I gave what? La solicitud to who? Le. We can't say le la, so we change the le to se. And here it's the same sentence, except we've decided for emphasis or for clarification. Who is se? Did I give it to him, to her, to usted? I'm going to clarify by giving more information. And here at the end, a él. And then here I put a star by this little bit of extra information. I believe you've also learned through the My Spanish Lab about using these pronouns with compound verb phrases. These are when you have more than one verb in your verb phrase. Quiero dar, por ejemplo. I want to give. Well, with these compound verb phrases, you have two options in terms of word order. If there's only one verb, you have no other option. Those pronouns go before the verb. However, if you have more than one verb in the verb phrase, quiero dar, they can go at the end. Quiero dársela, I want to give it to him. Or they can stay in front. Se la quiero dar. Okay, guys, I hope that clarifies some stuff, and good luck studying. Let me know if you have any other questions.